Every leader wants a team that anticipates, takes ownership, and aligns with the organization's vision. But too often, leaders end up solving problems that shouldn't be theirs. The key isn't more effort. It's empowering others to step up. Today I'm going to unpack how you can lead a team that's ready for anything. Let's dive in. Being the leader doesn't mean solving every problem or having all the answers. True leadership is about building a culture where your team feels empowered to own, navigate, and solve problems. To do that, they need to be empowered to make decisions. Here's the truth. When every decision flows through you, your team becomes dependent, waiting for direction instead of taking initiative. If you want a team ready for anything, start by redefining your role, not as a fixer, but as the empowerer. This starts when you are explicit about what decisions your team can handle and what requires your input. Trust your team to own their responsibilities while providing guidance where needed. When someone comes to you with a problem, don't jump in with a solution. Instead, ask, what options have you considered? See, this approach shifts ownership and encourages critical thinking. Celebrate team members who take bold, thoughtful action, even if the results aren't perfect. Why do I say that? Because this reinforces that proactive behavior that you want to see. As a leader, you have to build a culture of proactive problem-solving people. Let me remind you of a simple truth. Reactive teams wait for instructions. Proactive teams anticipate challenges and prepare for them. To build the latter, you must instill a problem-solving mindset at every level in your organization. Here are a couple ways that you can implement this practice. Host an anticipation session. This is really powerful and unlike any other meetings that most leaders have. I want you to imagine a brainstorming session where your team is focused on identifying potential challenges down the road. Trust me, I've done this and it's crazy cool. See, this is one of the fastest ways to teach your team to anticipate problems before they arise. I encourage you to try it. Another one is give your team the freedom to experiment. There's a reason I named my last book Freedom to Experiment. Getting results is a game of progress, not perfection. I encourage you to create a culture that gives yourself and your team the freedom to test out new ideas and strategies to see what works and what doesn't. This builds team's confidence, right? Your team's confidence that they need to tackle big initiatives and projects. See, proactive teams thrive on continuous improvement. You got to encourage your team to reflect on what's working, what's not, and what they can do to adapt. This is a culture, right, that you have to create where learning is constant and mistakes are just stepping stones, not setbacks. Having a team ready for anything doesn't happen overnight. It requires deliberate focus on developing leaders at every level, strong, reliable leaders sprinkled throughout your business that you can count on. See, your mid-level leaders are the linchpins of your business. They connect strategy to execution, and they're the key to scaling your leadership. This is the key group, in my opinion, that needs leadership development. So you got to invest in training programs and coaching that teach them to think and act like leaders. You got to involve them in strategic planning. When they're part of the planning process, you know what happens? They're more invested in the execution. High potential leaders want to see a future for themselves in your organization. So you got to outline clear paths on how they can advance and provide mentorship that helps them get there. Transparency is also important. It builds trust and alignment. When your team operates in the dark, they can't anticipate what's coming next. So start by sharing the why behind your decisions. This will help your team understand the bigger picture. When they know why something is important, that something that's happening is important, they're more likely to support it. And I know many leaders who hold town hall sessions to communicate new changes. And trust me, that's important. But one thing I always tell them is the adoption of those changes is even more important. And that requires more consistent meetings to keep everyone informed about upcoming changes, what's expected of them in the process, and how their efforts align with the bigger picture goals. That's huge. Make it safe for your team in those sessions to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and bring ideas to the table. Transparency is a two-way street. And let me close with this. Leadership isn't about being the hero. It's about building a team who can step up when it matters most. So here's my challenge for you. I want you to look at your team and I want you to ask yourself, where can I give them more ownership? How can I create an environment where they can lead with confidence? How can I enable them to think like leaders? If you want to explore how to develop your leadership team and develop growth champions throughout your business who can help you get out of the weeds and scale, I included a link in the description to book an exploratory call, and we can brainstorm what that looks like for you and your business. Okay, if you like what I shared today, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment below related to your business, and of course, subscribe because each week I'm sharing content to help you and your team embrace change, focus your efforts, and accelerate results. Remember this, you're just one idea away. We'll talk to you soon.